on the table.
Yeah.
And then, like, we're just having a bit of crack.
I hope like, if we ever got...
Are we like...
Yeah, we're live now.
Oh, okay, this is the
podcast.
podcast.
We're not live, but we're recording.
Oh, thanks for the fucking warning there, Joe.
Alright, well, 3, 2...
Well, no, it's alright, the guy now, that's not...
You're off.
Fucking...
Let's go. Right. If it ever gets to the point where this podcast becomes, like... I'd love to do something like this full time. Like, I'd love to do something like this as a job, like as a career. If we ever got to the point where it was like Joe Rogan's, one of the things that annoys us about Joe Rogan's podcast is how unneat his table is. Have you ever seen it?
I don't even know who Joe Rogan is, man.
Joe Rogan's a UFC commentator who does he does a podcast on YouTube.
I've heard him then. So.
It's like the most popular podcast on YouTube.
Alright.
He's like fucking hot shit when it comes to podcasts. But his table's a proper mess. Like, like his value's mint. He's got like top mics, like everything's sick. He's had like Louis Theroux on, all sorts of big names on everything.
I watched that My Scientology movie for the first time.
Here's the thing.
Yesterday.
People diss that, you know. Like, people think that's shit, that's a really bad documentary.
See, I really enjoyed it, I'm not going to lie.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was a bit weird. Like, I didn't really get what it was meant to be.
Well, I had loads of Microsoft points, because all our distant relatives bought us loads of Microsoft points at Christmas, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, there's no games out at the minute that I want, and I've really, really looked. Like, I have went through that
so I did the same thing.
And like I debated buying Dragon's Dogma about a million times, but I actually didn't. I don't think I would have if there was something I wanted there, but there wasn't, so I ended up buying that. So I'm going to fucking play that. But, so I had like a bit of fucking money left, so I looked on the Microsoft store, and I was looking at documentaries, so I love a good documentary, right?
Yeah, who doesn't love a good... I think if you're slightly intelligent and you get more... You get entertained off anything other than cartoons.
Right.
A documentary is pretty good for you. Do you know what I mean? You learn a lot from a documentary, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Like a good one.
Stay in school, kids. But so I was looking through, and the fucking I saw Louis Theroux, and you know how like him.
Yeah,
I watched this shit.
He's mint.
So I was like, right, okay, sound off. I actually knew who he was before he come on Netflix.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, okay, sound. I'll have a look at that. So I rented it HD, which pissed us off because me and Net was shitty the other day. So I rented it in HD, and it played like 360, 320 FPS.
What, 3 frames per second or something?
No, it was like 380p.
Oh, 360p.
That one. It was like 360p. It was really bad quality the whole fucking time. And then it kind of rendered itself in on the last 15 minutes. So I watched the last 15 minutes with like really good quality.
It's on Sky, that, you know. Yeah. You could have watched it when you came out today.
I could have watched it without paying for it, mate. I've got the Sky app on my Xbox.
Fool.
I know. But, so I watched that, and I thought it was really interesting. Like, I thought it was a bit fucking like...
It's a bit weird, isn't it, where he gets them all shout at each other and stuff.
Yeah, it was a bit crazy, like...
It was weird. I don't know why he did that. The guy who he keeps going to ask, is this authentic? Does this look like when he was in Scientology and stuff? He's fucking weird, him. Like, when people keep following him about and calling him all sorts of names and stuff.
He's hiding a lot. Like, I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him.
No way.
When he's fucking, like, I wouldn't trust anyone who's a fucking Scientologist, to be completely honest, unless they're, like, low-level, just naive.
The fucking... Right. It's weird. It's
but when you see them, like, 08s and 07s, because they have, like, a ranking system, right?
I know.
You know what I mean? And that's, like, the top end of it. And, like, I tell you what, though... The fucking, like, the leader of it, that, what's his name?
I don't know his name.
I can't remember his
name. I know who he is, though.
Yeah, that young-looking guy.
He's fucking freaky.
He's really freaky. He's like really an enigma, man. Like, there's no fucking pictures are out of him.
No.
Or, like, not on the documentary anyway, but, I mean, there's no... Do you know what I mean?
There's sound recordings of him in there.
I don't know, but, like, you don't know what he's been up to for the last... Like, he's, like, a hermit, basically. No one's fucking seen him. Like, the public.
He's really weird. It's really weird when he goes near the Scientology church thing, and they kick him out. Like, they keep saying to him, like, nah, you can't be here. And he's like, it's fucking public. Like, it's not private property. Like, I'm allowed to be here. And then they bring out cameras and stuff, and they're like, oh, we can record you as well. And he's like, okay, well, we can record you. So
like, we've already fucking recorded. Yeah. One step ahead of you, man.
It was weird. It was really weird.
I think that guy was weird who was in it, that young actor guy who was a Scientologist that he interviewed, and he's like, do I look brainwashed? And then he's just like...
Yeah, a bit.
Oh, you do a bit.
It's fucking weird, man. It's so strange, like, it's so abnormal, the whole the whole, like, Scientology as a whole is just fucking strange. It was written by a science fiction.
The only difference between like Scientology, the fucking hell, what am I trying to say here? I can't remember. Right, Scientology is like, it's a cult. The only reason it's not a cult is because people say it isn't.
It's because they've got a church.
In action, like in everything they do, it is essentially a cult.
Yeah.
It's just not labelled as such because
it's the religion. So everyone's like, oh no, it's like legit. Well, it's fucking not legit. It's
not
fucking
really,
weird.
yeah.
Everyone, what's it say? Everyone gets reincarnated. Is that the thing in Scientology?
It's fucking.
Someone's like, oh yeah, I can remember my past life. It's like, you can't though. Like, you're fucking delusional. Like, you can't. It's so fucked. Speaking about...
Yeah, okay, I move this going. Keep going.
Speaking of being fucked, our old school is massively fucked.
Which one?
Whitworth.
Because we went to 2 schools together.
Wait, I went to Tudor Grange.
Well, I went to the Grange as well. That's 3, see? Now we've got 3 schools together.
I went to Tudor Grange.
So you need to narrow it down a bit there, mate.
When it was Tudor Grange. And the last year I was there, everyone moved from Tudor Grange to Spennymoor Comp, which is where you were at the time.
No, I wasn't.
Where were you?
I was a fucking...
Were you at Tudor when they moved?
First off, we need to give a bit of context here.
Alright.
Is like...
Alright.
Okay, in our fucking town, our, good old home,
Aye.
there was 2 schools. There was Tudor Grange and Spennymoor Comprehensive.
Fucking hated each other.
Yeah, they weren't happy with each other. But at some point, I can't remember why, they decided to merge. So they all merged on the Spennymoor site. And
I'll tell you why they did it. They did it for money. Because
initially they were meant to get loads of money to build a brand new school.
Yeah, but
they never. So they had to just build a little extension. And by the way, that was like built while we were there. So they fit us all in this little school with a construction site literally.
I know, and they had to make those little... It's where they bring in trailers and use them as classrooms.
Yeah, they use these little porta cabins as fucking classrooms for 2 years. So basically they merged, didn't they? And that's sort of like...
They merged and it was a fucking mistake. Like, from the get-go it was a mistake. Because, 1, there was too many students for the size of the school. And 2, it was just a bad idea. Because they sold it... My fucking nose is running through me. They sold the school, I think. The council sold the school. Got all the money for the property. And then they were going to sell the property for companies to put houses on, right? But somewhere down the line, someone's got fucking greedy and took 3/4 of the fucking money from whatever was going to happen and have just said, nah, fuck that. You can have a small extension on the school. And then they put a 6th form building on it, and the 6th form was awful. Like, I'm pretty sure
I can testify to that.
It's closed down now.
In fact, I'll fucking name the motherfuckers because I never got justice. Right? That 6th form's a pile of wank because of Mrs. Stir and Mrs. Wood. That's why. In fact, no, it's Mrs. Woods.
Mrs. Woods?
Yeah.
Like plural, but not plural.
Yeah.
I had, Tudor Grange was a bad school. Like, Tudor Grange was
it was not a good school.
It was not a good school.
You used to fucking throw snowballs at the boiler man to go home.
Oh, yeah, nah, on a day like this.
Yeah, because if you hit the boiler hard enough, it'd break, and then they had no heating, and they couldn't keep the kids in the school, so there was no heating, so we'd all get...
But the boiler was exposed, just behind the back of the gym.
Yeah, well, Mr. Setties, the fucking teachers and that.
Everyone's on boiler watch.
Yeah, they all used to get, make sure no one was, you'd see trick shots from 50 yards away, away from the teachers, launching them from the other side of the fucking yard to get them... Oh man, it was beautiful. That
it was when it worked. It was the best because the fucking heating wasn't on.
Did you remember when the fucking one time the music? It was really heavy rain, and the whole corridor of the school got flooded. Knee deep flooded. It was really bad. So no one could get to the music classroom, and then it was really funny because a bunch of students who were in lesson at the time all come out of the yard with soaking wet up to the knee, so you could tell who was in music last lesson.
They had to get rid of all the keyboards, didn't they? And buy new ones. And
fuck knows.
One of the things I hated about music was the actual lesson. The keyboards took up so much of the desk you couldn't write anything. So if there was 3 rows of desks,
you have to move the keyboards back. I remember.
Yeah, you have to pick the keyboards up and move them.
And then you get told off for doing stuff.
Yeah,
and then you'd have the fucking chavs in the corner of the room playing that fucking the China theme.
Aye, and then there was There was like computers around our school was sketchy as fuck. It was fucking horrible. It was so badly built as well. Like it was so old.
Do you know what else was badly built?
What?
The script to The Last Jedi.
I'm sick of talking about The Last Jedi. Really.
Me either.
Me either.
Me too. Me too. I don't know.
Spenny Comp, I would argue, was worse than Tudor. Because Spenny Comp was just fucking long. Like, it was just a long haul.
Oh, yeah, no, I always said this. Spenny Comp, it was literally like the map of that school was an L.
Yeah, it was
just
fucking...
2 really long corridors and then a bit on the top of the...
With fucking...
thing.
It was like 2 really long corridors. Or it was 4, because it was one at one side and one at the other, wasn't there? Or was the one...
There was... Alright, I'm not going to go into it because no one at home's going to understand, so I'm going to have to fucking
It was just a long fucking corridor with classrooms on one side for 2 levels. That was it. That was the whole school. It was fucking awful.
Yeah, that was essentially what it was.
And then the canteen was shit. The school looked awful. The uniform was rank.
Yeah.
The uniform was grim. It was just a fucking burgundy jumper and normal school fucking trousers. But no cunt ever... And I mean, ever wore black shoes, did he?
No,
everyone had to wear
shit out
formal,
lost and found because they'd get mad at you.
Yeah, you had to wear formal shoes. Everyone's turning up in like Nike fucking bright white shoes and shit like that, wearing like Jordans and stuff. It's like, what are you doing? Like, there's no point.
Right. There's something I want to talk to you about.
What specifically?
Aye.
Okay.
I just think it'd be an interesting thing to discuss on the podcast.
Hold on.
Because I haven't really talked to you about it too much in detail over the past week because I've wanted to like save the crack. So you get like an authentic banter here. That documentary I was telling you about briefly, the Tickled one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right now, like I mentioned earlier on this podcast, I'm a really big fan of documentaries. I get really into it when it's something I'm genuinely interested in.
Yeah.
And I come across this one, and it was just called Tickled, right? And I was like. But it looked like the poster resembles sort of a horror movie esque. Do you know what I mean?
Send us that, I'll put it on. That is a grim photo.
So yeah, So I was like, right, I'll have a look. So I watched the trailer and I was like, what the fuck?
What happens in the trailer?
Right, basically,
because you're gonna need to say what the thing's about.
I'll just tell you now. Right, there's this journalist, and he's from New Zealand, this New Zealand journalist, and he's made sort of a career reporting on, like, the bizarre, so, like, you know, fucking, like, he as an example, like, at the beginning of his thing, he shows, like, him interviewing, like, a guy in cosplayer, and so he's always sort of, like, covered shit like that, right? Yeah. And you come across...
keep looking
Yeah. You come across a video on Facebook, like, you happen by it.
Aye.
And it was a video of competitive endurance tickling or something.
Right.
And it was like a bunch of guys, and they're always like muscular.
So they're like ripped dudes.
Not ripped, but like the muscular, like sort of 19-year-old kind of guys you see in porn, right?
Right.
And they literally just pin one down, tie him up, and just tickle him for like.
That's
however long.
That sounds like a porn video.
Yeah, it sounds like something you'd like gay porn.
It's like BDSM
right?
shit.
Yeah, it sounds sort of like...
That's weird.
Anyway, so you think... That's what he thought. He just thought it was fucking hilarious, right? He was like... right, okay, so he emailed the people who make it, which was this, like, media company. Now, I am going to...
Was it, like, on the internet, or something?
I am going to spoil this. So when we stop talking about it, take a timestamp and put it on your video now and skip to that point if you want to watch this for yourself, right?
I'll tell you what, let's put this in my notes. 14 minutes. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm in my text, doesn't know what I'm doing. So, let's go
Just because I don't want to ruin this, because if someone wants to genuinely watch this, it is worth it, so like...
Boilers.
Go on.
14.15.2. Right, hold on.
Right, so basically... So he emails the company that made it, and he was like, right, can I get an interview? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just no like, bad intentions. And so, instead of, like, the yes or no, you got an email back, and it was like, he's gay, right? I need to tell you that now.
Who, the journalist?
Yeah. And you got an email back.
Does he, like, wear glasses?
Yeah.
And is he proper weird looking?
No, well, I wouldn't say so, but you might. I don't know.
Right.
But, he does wear glasses. I think you're probably talking about the same guy. But, and he gets an email back, and it's like this homophobic rant, like we will not be involved with a homophobic journalist and all this. And he was
with
like,
a homophobic? Do you mean homosexual?
Sorry, homosexual. Yeah. Sorry, they were being homophobic.
Yeah.
And so he was like, well, I think that's a bit weird considering like sport's a bit gay. so him and his mate, like he went and I think like he hacked the site or something. Like he didn't really go into detail, but you saw
because it was a bit sketchy.
Yeah, you saw his mate doing something on the computer with like, you know what I mean, command prompts and shit were all about the screen. So he did that. And he found that like this Jane that runs it is like is a ghost. Like you kind of find out or anything.
Right.
So and then they get really really interested in it. So they end up like proper looking about it, and then like they start getting lawsuits filed by the company.
Right.
And they're like, what the
fuck's
going on? And
this must have been proper interesting. Watching
it really is. And
I'm gonna give this a watch.
They start getting like loads of fucking lawsuits from the company, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, why are they
so secretive?
So they travel to the United States and just like go.
Is he UK based? Like,
no, he's New Zealand.
Oh,
but he travels to the US.
Did you say that already?
Yeah.
Sorry,
about 3 times.
Sorry.
So he travels from there, and he fucking like so they just investigate it, and it gets really dark.
It does, like, really?
Yeah. Basically, they figure out that this person that runs it, no one knows who this person is, right?
Is she called Jane?
Jane.
Quotation
so it's
marks,
like Jane.
So that's an alias.
Yeah, it's an alias. It's not genuinely. Well, I mean, it might
Jane
be,
is not Jane,
but no one can find this Jane. Right? So you can just, I think, you can
no
safely,
second name.
You can safely assume it's not. And it basically turns out that like all the guys who starred in it were like misled, like they didn't really know what they were getting into.
Right.
And then like, but when they wanted to back out, like when they were like, oh, I'm not going to do the next one or whatever, she'd like threaten them and say like, well, I'll post the video you're getting tickled by like 4 other guys on the fucking wherever. And then like, but not even that, they de-doxed them as well. So she'd post like the phone number, email address for these guys.
What's the phone?
Sometimes they were high profile. Like one of them was like a high school football player, which in the US is
like a big deal,
right? So like he was getting kicked out of teams and that because
of this
bad
tickle
ref
thing
and all sorts. And there was this one guy who didn't come forward, but you come on the thing, but he had like a
black thing.
Yeah, so you couldn't really see him. And he said like, the thing with me is like my family's just a bunch of Republicans. Like if that comes out, like I'm fucked. And I was like, fair enough.
Right.
But so it gets really dark, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then he find this other guy, and he says, right, there's basically been a case like this before back in the 90s.
It was the same sort of thing.
Right. There's been a case like this before back in the 90s, right?
Right.
And so they meet up with like the people who investigated that case, and they took their evidence off them because they're starting to suspect, because like this case is very similar basically. What happened was, back then the same thing happened. It was more amateur, with all like the videos now were like professionally made in a studio, whereas back then it was just in someone's bedroom. But like the same shit happened. It was some guy misled to go there, and he does it, but then like if he wants out at some point, but here's where it gets weird.
Let me ask you a question first. Is it a website that this happens on? Or is it like it just happens online?
It just happens.
So they just post a video in random places.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I can't really tell you without ruining...
There's another question. So it's not like a website called like TickleMe.com or something?
No.
All the videos of the people who have been put out are those people who have obviously gone against Jane, so they've posted the video?
Yeah, I think that might be it.
Yeah.
It might not be though, but I'm pretty sure that, well, no, because he come across one, didn't he? Like there are a few about, but it's not, she doesn't make them for anyone. It's like her... I'm about to explain it through. In the 1990s, this lass called Terry. A girl called Terry. Alias,
right? Quotation marks.
Posted on some very 90s looking thread. Board,
like a Reddit website kind of.
And it was asking for guys who will be tickled and that. And she said, like, I'm not going to post online, it's just my personal collection and all this shit, right? Apparently she really likes it, whatever.
So
she ended up hiring a casting agent. This casting agent, like, never met her. Right. Never. So she's like, they interviewed him, but he used to get them and like they'd go and whatever else. But then he caught wind of what she was doing, like threatening them when they wouldn't want to. So he stopped. But this is where it gets really weird, right? The guys nowadays, when they like don't want to do it, or if she's trying to get them to do it, like she offers them like anything. Like she offered one guy 30 grand, and then another guy she offered, or like the same guy. She offered like a fucking like a Mustang or something, like a really good like car.
What the fuck?
And it's like, where does this money end? Like, where does it come from?
Where's this money
and she's
coming
paying
from?
them all, like, and like she's and the guy who was interviewed said he was like,
do you find out who she is? Fucking yes.
Yeah,
if you didn't, I'd have been devastated.
But you find out everything and it's juicy as fuck.
It's a problem.
Yeah. But and the guy who was getting interviewed, he said, like, the thing is, like, no one wants to do this. When you get an email coming through saying, will you be tickled for a video and all this? And you initially say no, right? But as a 19-year-old in college, when she then sends you an envelope of, like, $2,000 in cash with a note attached saying there's more, where that came from, like, you're going to do the video.
I'm going to get tickled.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll fucking get tickled for that cunt. But, so he said, like, so that happens. And then they found out that in the 1990s, the person who was convicted for it, right, because they ended up finding out who it was, and they convicted him.
In the 90s?
Yeah, and it was this vice principal of a school in New York, and he's like, imagine pedophile, right, and that's what he looked like. Like, he looked really fucking like, all fucking really a million chins, fucking like greasy hair. And basically, but he got off with like basically no charges other than like, he didn't even get like an internet ban or internet monitoring or anything. He did get some of it, but it was like piss. Like it was out, or it was like a month in prison or something like that. But it was but you have to bear in mind. Oh wait, no, because I'm not getting this. It's really hard to keep track of this because loads happened. But alright, so he got no charges, and what happened was basically his dad is like a major, like he's one of the lead, like he founded one of the leading Wall Street like people in Wall Street, right?
Right. So he's a big fucking
loaded.
Aye.
Right, and so his dad apparently bought him like a really good lawyer, and so he got like nothing. But anyway, so that kind of died down there, and like that's where it stopped, right?
So can I ask a question again?
Yeah.
Are these videos only? What it sounds like is this guy's got a fetish for...
No, that's exactly what it is. He's doing it for him. Like,
no,
these are his
but
videos.
this guy's been... He's got a fetish for tickling people.
Mm-hmm.
He then records them. He's never there, so he needs it to be a video so he can see it. And then he gets the videos sent to him, and he blackmails you to say, if you say anything, I'll put the video somewhere online.
No, not say anything. It's just like...
If you do... If
like
you
some of
go
them
get
are already
online...
I don't really know. It doesn't explain it.
It sounds like all of them that go online are like the people who rebelled against it.
I don't know. But anyway, so that was the case in the 90s, and that's what they find out. So they're like, right, that sounds incredibly
exactly
similar. So they started looking into the guy, and then started getting loads of more lawsuits.
Right.
And they were like, right, he's like, this is getting really weird now.
Yeah.
So they ended up like staking out his apartment. So they sat outside his apartment for like 3 days waiting for him to leave for like 4 hours and like a day. And he finally left. So they followed him to like Starbucks or something. And he got out the car and he confronted him and he was like, do you know who Jane is? Do you have any link to this? Like, why do you keep having it? Like, and he's just saying like, oh, you shouldn't be here, and you know, stop harassing us, and I'll get me lawyers. He's like, I'm going to sue you and all this, and he gets his car and fucks off. But after that happened, suddenly all the lawyer shit stopped because like this guy knew he was on the wrong here, and like he's been caught red-handed. He's got video evidence of him now because that's the first time he's gotten caught on video in like ages. And basically, the unravel that guy went from where he was in the 90s, he's kept a completely low profile, but he's never stopped doing it.
Did you know?
Right, never. So he's done it up to this point, and at this point, it's like he's got a whole company under him doing it for him. Like, he's built up this little fucking mini empire. The videos. And obviously, but he's still doing all this harassment shit. And Jane, right, he made her a real person. Like, he stole a dead person's social security number and made a bank account for her and everything. So Jane, on paper, exists.
Real. That's fucking weird.
Like, he did all sorts, and literally just so he can get off on this, right? And then he found out the reason he has so much money is because when his dad's, I think, dead now or whatever, but like,
is he like an old guy? Or
he's older. He's like 50 or something.
So he was like 30 at the time when he got caught in the 90s, right?
Yeah. So he's like, his dad, when he died, left a trust fund for him, so he's getting like millions every month to doing nothing. Wow. And his mum was also very wealthy, so he got...
So
when his mum died, he got loads of money for her estate, because she had like land or something.
Yeah.
So he literally has like bottomless pockets, right? This guy,
right?
And they figured out all that about it, and like, that's where it ends. But like like, I can't give it the justice it needs, right?
Yeah.
But, like, it's so interesting when you're watching it and
That's
it's unraveling.
Weird. That's weird.
Because, like, do you know what I mean? But imagine you, like, sending that email at the very beginning, just wanting to interview them, and that's all you have, like, intended, is just, it'll be a funny little interview for, like, an article.
Aye.
And then you end up, like, finding this kingpin of fucking creepiness.
Is it being recorded from the start, or does he say, right, let's just fill you in
on
what's happening?
It's, like, from the very start.
Why is he recording it straight away then?
No, like it starts record. Like he obviously started the documentary just after he got the email back, like the homophobic email.
Aye.
That's when he started like investigating it. Still not expecting.
Is that when he got when he
it's
went?
When
like,
him and his mate hacked it and that, and then like
really
all the weird shit happening. It was his mate who was like, "No, we have to look into this because there's more to this than we're fucking like seeing." And like, his mate's not in it that much. There's only a few scenes he's in because you can tell he didn't really want to be in the documentary. He was literally doing this because he was like he wanted to know what's going on. But then because they were threatening them, like they could have ruined him. His mate had a family and all this, and like they could have took him for everything. So that's why to him it was like personal.
Yeah,
and it's so interesting. Like you need to watch it.
I will. Speaking about weird people, right? That's how I literally transition everything. Speaking about. So,
I know.
Anyway,
weird.
26 minutes you've been, is that 14 to 26. Hang on, 14 to 26 to 26.
Yeah, that's where the timestamp is. Okay, welcome back to the podcast for those of you who want to watch the documentary.
Basically, weird people, like going on about weird people and stuff. I watched this documentary once about a cannibal. Not the cannibal you watched yours about, because he's fucking weird.
We don't have a thing for cannibal. I want to make this clear, because the way you're making this sound like I have my own cannibal and you have your own cannibal.
Earlier on today,
we just happened to watch a documentary each on individual cannibals.
And you watched yours earlier today, just bored, like you were just wasting time.
I was just pissing about.
I watched this like months ago, like early last year. And basically, he used to be a soldier. He was German. He lived in Germany. He used to be a soldier, not in any war, nothing like that. But this documentary looked like it was filmed about early 2000s. And basically, he was a stay-at-home guy. He was fucking. He used to babysit kids. Like he was apparently like the perfect neighbour, right? He was fucking like apparently he was a lovely guy and that. And in the documentary,
he was like Dr. Jekyll.
In the documentary, the scariest thing is that when he's talking on camera, he just looks normal and he talks normal. Now you could argue, well, what's some fucking cannibal meant to talk like? He's meant to froth from the mouth and all that stuff. No, he's just meant to be a bit weird.
Yeah, like, you wouldn't imagine him to be all there.
He's not weird at all. Like the guy you watched, he looked fucking weird.
Yeah, he was really creepy.
This guy looked fucking normal, so no one knew he was doing anything. And he'd never eaten, if I remember this right, he'd never eaten anyone. But he had a fetish for eating someone. Like, he really wanted to have sex with someone. He was gay. He really wanted to have sex with a man and then eat them afterwards. So he went online.
I've heard of this guy. That rings a bell.
So he went online and he put a post up on, like, some normal website. Like, he probably didn't think it through, right? He went on some normal website and was like, oh, I'm looking for someone who wants to be eaten after sex, something like that, and I'll pay you such and such amount of money so you can give it to your family. I think, if I remember that right. So a bunch of people said like, "Oh, what do you want to do?" Blah blah blah. Like, I'll do it for the money, but never actually did it, and he didn't. Like, you know what I mean? He like, backed out of it. And then he got an email from this one guy, right? And this guy had his own fetish for having his cock bitten off. Right? So he used to hire prostitutes.
What the fuck?
Gay prostitutes. He used to hire gay prostitutes. One of them was in the documentary. He was like, yeah, I was just sucking his dick. And then he goes, bite it. And I was like, no, I'm not biting your dick. So this guy was weird, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, they both sound a bit like they were made for each other.
The cockmonger guy was weirder than the cannibal. But he wanted his dick to be bitten off because he was abused as a kid. This is where it all stems from. He was abused as a kid, and I think he was sexually assaulted by his mum. So he was like raped and stuff, but he was beaten as well. So he's got this like mad fetish for being proper in pain and having sex and stuff. He was really weird. And then, so he got back to me. He was like, "I'd fucking love you to eat me after we have intercourse. I'm not going to lie, like, mate.
But so, like, he wants him to kill him as well? And
he just wants him to chop his cock off.
And eat his dick.
He's got such a fetish. He needs it, right? He needs to have his cock bitten off. Like, he needs it gone.
Yeah.
Like, he wants his cock to be, like, just cut off.
Yeah.
And he says he wants it that badly that he'll put up. It's like he'll die afterwards just because he wants it that badly.
So,
he'll
like, complete
death.
his life. He'll die a happy man
like,
anyway.
He'll die. He wants it that badly that dying afterwards, it doesn't bother him. That's how badly he wants it. So he goes over, the two of them meet, and they go out for lunch and that. Like, this cannibal's like a normal person. Like, he's really weird. He's like proper polite about it. If you don't want to do it, he will not make you do it. He's really weird. Like, he's proper formal and nice about it. So he comes over.
Like, he's a cannibal, but he's not a murderer.
Wait.
Like, obviously he kills him, but do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, he's not like... I mean, I'm not rooting for the guy, right? But, like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, they come back. They go, like, he gets a train to where he lives, I think. He gets there, anyway. They drive about for a bit. They do a couple of stuff. Like, they have a good time. And then he's like, I don't know if I want to die. Like, I don't know if I want to do it. So he backs out of it, and he goes, that's fine. Sends him home. He then comes back because he's like, nah, this needs to happen. My cock needs to be chopped off, right? So he comes back and they go out again and they come back and then they have gay sex, but apparently he was like, the sex was like unreal. Like, as far as gay sex goes, like this was peak, like gay shagging, right?
Right.
And so then he's like, the guy does his whole like bite me cock off thing. And the dude's like, I'm not going to bite it off, but I'll cut it off if you want it. If you want me to cut it off, if you want to feel the pain of me cutting off your dick, I'll cut off your dick. So the guy's like, I need you to do it. So instead of him mid-sex, just like, arr, like biting off his dick, he lay him down on a table, right? He's very, like, you know, organised.
Yeah.
Lies him down on the table, and he's like, right, this guy's fully hard, right? He's like fully erect at the thought of his cock getting chopped off. He's really strange. So he gets, I think it was a razor, like an old shaving razor, like a thingy knife. And he just starts cutting his dick off. And halfway through, the guy regrets it because it hurts so much. Like, it hurts more than, like, it feels good. So he backs out of it. Like, he wants to back out of it, but it's already halfway done. So if he's bleeding out anyway. And he's like, nah, keep going. So he cuts it off. And the guy's like, he regrets it instantly. He doesn't like it. He's like, it hurts too much. Like, it was good for a while, but after the adrenaline went, he's like, nah, like, I've fucked up. Like, I want me dick back, basically. But he's like, so the guy's like, wait, what do you want to do? Because we can't go to a hospital. If we go to a hospital, I've chopped off your dick. So, like, I'm getting done for chopping off your dick. So this guy's like, right, well, what do you want to do? So he runs him a bath. And he lets him just sit in the bath and bleed out. But he sits with him. Like, he reads him stories and they reminisce about childhood and stuff. So he's comforted him as he's dying. And then he asks him, when you die, do I have permission to eat you? Like, just chop you up and eat your meat, basically. And the guy's like, yeah, why I'm fucking dead anyway. So you can eat me cock.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah. So he dies, and then this guy takes the dead body, flushes away all the blood and that, cleans everything, and then it turns into like a slaughterhouse. Like he pins up, cuts off body parts, he hangs them up. You know, like when you walk into like a pig slaughterhouse.
Yeah, I know what you thought. I know what you're thinking.
It's like that, and they had like a bunch of shit like cut off. So he had a bunch of meat in the freezer.
I don't know why this is making us feel so. I'm usually not like.
He put all the
I think
meat.
it's the fucking dick thing. Like,
I'm like making sure mine's still there.
Yeah, I think the fucking like.
But so all the meat's in the freezer. But then the family are like, where's me son? Like, where's me uncle? The guy who's dead. They're like, they don't know where he is. So they check his internet history. They check all of his emails. Obviously, he's been emailing this dude back and forth. They go and investigate him. But, like, they ask everyone in town. And it's like, oh, yeah, let's just, for argument's sake, say his name's Bob. Oh, yeah, Bob, nothing goes on around Bob's. Like, Bob's a lovely lad. Like, me kids go there all the time. And I go say hello and I bring him cakes. He likes cakes. He likes fucking...
Right, okay.
You know what I mean? So the cops are like, wait, he's been emailing them back and forth. So we got to go and have a look. went and had a look, found fuck all, right? And he introduced, he let them come in. He was like, yeah, come on in. Do you want a cup of coffee, a biscuit, and all this shit? Like, and then they went back because one of them had a weird feeling. They were like, nah, something's wrong. Like, it's too clean. Like, there's nothing there. So he goes back, if I remember this correctly. He either goes back or he wanders off when they're all talking. And he finds, like, it's hidden away. He finds, like, loads of meat in a freezer. And he's like, what's all this meat? He's like, oh, it's just steak from down the market. And they're like, it doesn't smell like steak. Or it doesn't look like steak. It's something about it wasn't steak, like.
Right, okay, yeah.
And, so they were like, it doesn't, like, I don't think it's... like steak, so they took the meat, got it tested, human meat. It was the same DNA from the guy, so they were like, "That's the fucking dude in your freezer, like cut up into bits." And he was like, "Right, okay, well you've caught us, so there's no point in us trying to argue with you." And then they asked him what like it was like, and he was like, "The sex was great. Cutting his dick off felt a bit weird." I think they're coming from a person who wants to eat someone's like a bit rich. And he was like, I felt sorry for him when he died because I didn't want him to die because he was a nice guy. But his meat was delicious. Like, he was really weird. That's when he got a bit strange when he was talking about the meat. He was like, apparently the back is the best meat. Like, the back of a human. It has the best meat on it. And he was like, basically, he made like a full Sunday lunch, like, and put a bit of back meat on. And he did this for weeks. Like, he was eating this meat for fucking ages. Like, it lasted a long time. And then he got caught for it. And now he's in prison facing, like... I can't remember how long it was, but he's in it for a fucking long time. And they were interviewing all the people who, like, have since found out that he's a fucking cannibal. And they're like, I can't believe Bob's a cannibal. Like, I can't believe he's been around my children and all this stuff.
That shit with the dick really made it.
It's weird, isn't it? It's cringy.
It was a weird feeling, that. Like,
it's so strange.
That was a bit too much for me, I think.
Yeah, but, like, imagine being a prostitute. This is the only way.
Okay, well, that first off, no.
No, but then this guy's like, bite me cock off. And you'd just be like, nah, I'm alright, mate. No, thanks. But yeah, it was fucking weird, like. It's cringy. It's like, watching it's a bit chilling because, like, he's so normal. But yeah, like, it couldn't be anyone. Like, it can be anyone.
Well, what a fucking light tone this podcast's on now. 37 minutes in, we're already on fucking cannibals and whatever the fuck else. We were just chopping people's dick, right?
Alright, chopping people's cock off and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell us you have something lined up.
What, to talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I have a couple of things.
Right out and get them going.
I went on a school trip once. Here's the thing, right? This is fucking hilarious, right? I can brace yourself to laugh, right? Because this had me creased when this happened.
Brace yourself to blow your own trumpet a bit there, Jack.
It's not it's a story, but it's not me that did it, right? We went on a school trip in secondary. I'll tell you whose idea it was. Miss Timmish, right? It was Miss Timmis's idea. By the way, listening, Miss Timmis hated me at school.
She hated me when she found out I was your brother.
She wasn't a nice teacher, right? She used to eat egg salad sandwiches at the front of the room, and she's fucking minging. Yeah, so like, and she had a lisp. So
you get shrapnel off that egg salad
basically,
sandwich.
If you're sat in the front row of her class, bring a helmet because you're gonna get spat on.
Fucking like an umbrella or something.
Anyway, it was her and Miss Wood's idea to go into Durham and look at the cathedral. Right, because that's what you do when you're a kid. You go and look at Durham Cathedral. Like, everyone loves to go and look at Durham Cathedral. We went at a time when a bunch of students were on strike, or they were protesting. Like, they weren't going to lesson, basically. They weren't doing anything. And they were all in the mid, like, just outside of Durham Cathedral, right? We were fresh off watching Durham Cathedral, right? We'd just come out, been looking at lovely windows, right? Like, the stained glass windows and stuff. And we were outside. And Miss Wood, right, was looking, like, we were all lined up. Miss Wood was there, like, in front of us, and Miss Timmis was next to her. And they were both like, right, now we're going to go and do this, and we're going to go and do that and get some food, right? Oh, shit. As she started to talk, right, as she started to say, this is what's going to happen, out of absolutely nowhere, there was about 50 students on this green, right? I shit you not, 2/3 of the students stood up, right? So we're like, oh, what's going on here? This looks a bit alright. Off comes the t-shirt. I'm like, right, hang on. This is getting a bit weird now.
Wait, hang on. Is this like, I know this is like, I'm not perverted here. I just want to know what kind of degree of shock this got. Was this like chicks? Like with the girls?
It was both.
Oh, right, okay. So this is like...
Off comes the shirts, the bras, right? Off comes the trousers and the knickers and boxers. I shit you not.
They did a fucking nude protest.
About 20 people stood there stark bollock naked, right? Our teachers have no clue because they're looking at us. So they're looking at us and we're like, what the fuck is going on? No one said nothing, right? Because we were like, we thought it was hilarious. And then a ruckus started. They started from one side of the green and just started doing laps of the green with the shirts just swinging. Cock and balls jiggling all over the place. Proper sprinting about. And then the teachers turn around like, oh! No, get the kids away! So we all got rushed off. It was fucking hilarious. One of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Honest to God. It honestly, as far as like school trips go, it was the worst but best school trip.
Yeah, that sounds pretty fucking hilarious. I remember one time we all had to go, like, we had this chance in Whitworth. This is another testimony to how well equipped this school isn't. Right. We went to this fucking, like, convention or something for DT. And it was like not technology convention, but it was like something they wanted us to go and like look at. And it was like, I can't remember where it was, like, it was like 4 hours away.
Right.
And, but for some reason, they didn't take that into account.
Right.
So to get us home at a reasonable time, we went there as soon as we got to school.
Yeah.
Spent half an hour there. And then we had to drive another 4 hours back up. So we fucking drove for ages, man. We got there and the teachers were like, look, I mean, given how long it's taken us to get here, you're literally going to have to fucking, like, do what you want to do, like, now and get back the bus. They were like... yeah, like it was about 2 o'clock when we got there.
What is the point?
It was 2 o'clock when we got there. They were like, right, you need to be back at the bus for like 2:30. And like this wasn't a small convention. This was fucking huge. Like, we didn't see everything. We saw like we went into like one of the 5 halls or something out there. And like had a little look about where I can't tell you what it was about.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And then we got back in the bus. We're all sat there like, wait, that was good. Let's go back.
We made some good memories there.
Exactly. We all just kind of sat on the bus like it's a bit fucking weird that.
My college once took all the sports students, I was going to say a bunch of, all of them, to a school trip to Leeds University. But it was like one of the buildings in Leeds University. It was like the sports part, I think. Basically, it was fucking shit crack, right? It was fucking awful. So me, and a couple of lads who I knew, one of them turned out to be the biggest cunt I've ever met in my life, but that's a story for a different day.
Yeah, I'll get Chris on the podcast. He can share stories of what you
basically, I was like, right, I'm bored as shit. Like, this is fucking awful. The best thing we did was play futsal, right? And it wasn't even good futsal. Do you know what futsal is?
No.
Football with a heavy ball. That's futsal. So I was like, right, I don't want to be here anymore. Let's bounce. Let's fuck off somewhere. Let's go do something else.
Alright. Okay. Where did you bounce to? The fucking MC Hammer concert?
I was looking about because I knew we couldn't leave the uni because one, I had no fucking idea where we were. And 2, it was a fucking big like site, so I would get lost. So I was like, right, we can't leave the uni, so we need to go somewhere on campus where is better than here. So we snuck off and we found a student bar, and it was like way out the way, and there was a pool table, and we sat there all day and played pool and drank. And then we came back later on when we were about to leave. I got a text from John, where yous at? Like, yous are meant to be on the bus with counted heads and yous aren't here. I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh, didn't hear the bell. So we come running back, and we got on the bus and went home, but it was like, we made the best out of a bad day.
Aye. I remember I went to this fucking university for a little while in school, like as a trip, and it was one media class, right? And there was literally like 4 of us who went, and I'm not friends with any of the other 3.
Were you friends with the teacher though, weren't you?
No, I made friends with one of the other
Is this
school's
when you made friends
teachers.
with...
But no, this is... We went down, and the people who... I'm not going to use real names here, right?
Yeah.
Because this is a little too personal. I kind of regret mentioning drug dealers by name, because that's going to cause us a lot of bother if that comes out. But, so I'm just going to say... Lopez.
Lopez? What, are we sitting a math paper?
Lopez, Cinnamon, and...
Cup.
Fucking...
I don't know, just Sarah.
Nomad. Right.
Lopez, Cinnamon, and Nomad.
Cinnamon, and Nomad.
Right, hold on.
So Nomad...
Watch you get this confused.
Oh, I bet. So Nomad... Right, actually, let's put in my notes too. So I know what's going on, right? Keep the fucking banter flowing for
Nomad, Lopez and Cinnamon. Or Lopez and Cinnamon.
Yeah, right.
Nomad was whatever his name is.
Yeah.
If this podcast ever gets big...
And who the fuck else was it? Cinnamon.
Cinnamon, yeah.
Cinnamon.
You got 4 strippers' names, three strippers' names there.
Right, I'm going to have to just hold this up. Right, okay, yeah, so...
Who you want to say, Charlie?
I was. And that's the fucking real name. Right, okay.
Just fucking use the names, use the names.
I can't, man, because one of them's hard. And I'll beat shit out of us if we find out. Right. So, there's Nomad. There's Nomad, Lopez, and Cinnamon, right? Nomad was really camp, and he was alright. I kind of got along with him, but I never really hung out with him, and I never really wanted to. Like, he wasn't really my kind of guy, but I had no against him, right? He was alright. Lopez was a proper little bastard, right? He was a proper prick.
Is Lopez the hard one?
But, no, is he fuck? But
Cinnamon's the hard one, really.
Yeah.
Really.
But, Lopez has autism, right? And it's not too bad, but like don't get us wrong, I'm aware autism's a problem, right? And I'm aware about it, I know a lot of it, right?
Yeah, but it can be funny.
But
like, let's be honest.
I'm not saying it can be funny.
No, if you've got a mate,
I'm just saying.
I know people.
I'm just saying I'm not gonna.
No, I'm not, because I'm gonna sound like a cunt now. I'm not saying, haha, you're autistic, right? I've met people who have autism, and they know fine well they have autism.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
And they can take the piss out of themselves because they know.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
That's what I mean.
Like that, right? But no, Lopez wasn't like that. He had autism, but it didn't excuse him because he was still a dickhead.
Right.
Like, don't get us wrong. I know it was partly down to the fact he didn't have filters and that, but even so,
he's still a
like
cunt.
I don't think he should have been excused for as much as he was in school.
Right.
That's what I'm saying, right? But anyway. So Lopez was there, I didn't really like Lopez, and Cinnamon, right? And Cinnamon was this hard lad. I spoke to him a few times, like we had like a sort of like, if I passed him, he'd be like, you alright?
Alright.
So we got along alright. So me, it was basically, I was hanging out with like Cinnamon and Nomad.
Is Nomad the autistic one, yeah?
No, that's Lopez, right? So I was hanging out with Cinnamon and Nomad,
right,
for like that weekend. And I swear to God...
So you're hanging out with a hard lad and a camp dude?
Yeah, I swear to God, at the end of that weekend, right, I think Lopez actually wanted to kill himself. Because Cinnamon, like, I didn't give Lopez a hard time, so I know he's autistic, right? Cinnamon didn't. Like he knew he was autistic, but he gave him a hard time, like a really hard time. That whole weekend, anytime he spoke, he'd be like, shut the fuck up. Lopez. Like literally, honestly, I'm not even making that up. Like, we'd literally be standing in like a fucking group, and he'd come over and he'd be like, "Oh, by the way," and he'd turn to him, and he'd be like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, and he wasn't allowed to talk. Give me a look at the actual names. The teacher, right, who took us down, didn't even do out about it. Like, he just fucking let him. Like, it was so bad. Oh man, it was bad as fuck. But we basically just tortured this fucking kid with autism for like a whole weekend. And I swear to God, like, he got so mad.
That's a sad story.
No, it wasn't, man. It was funny as fuck. Like, I didn't do out to him, and it wasn't funny because he has autism. It was just funny. But like, looking back at the time, I felt dreadful about it. But looking back, it is a really funny story.
Yeah.
Like this, like literally any time he spoke. And I'm like he'd go out his way to make him, like, not enjoy his time there, because he was taking it so seriously, right? So he'd fucking slam on his dorm, and, like, do you know what I mean? Kick his door in and that. Like, he was fucking mad. Like, honestly, man, he wasn't happy about it. But...
Right. Something happened last night, which caught me off guard.
Okay.
Do you know that guy I watch stream Fortnite? Alexramigaming.
Yeah.
Well, he was talking, and someone sent him a donation and sent him a photo of him in hospital watching his stream. And he was like, here, you don't have to put this photo on the stream. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to. Like, you've just helped us through a really tough time, and I wanted you to know that, like, you streaming daily has got us through, like, a really bad spot in my life.
Aye.
So Alex he's a soft guy, right, for one. Like, he's a really nice dude, and he gets a bit emotional, but he's not going to cry or nothing. And he's like, here, I'll put a photo of him on. Like, I'll play a couple of games with him, because, like, offline, off stream, I'm going to play with him, because I like to give back to the people who, like... And then he started to cry. He was playing the game, he stopped talking, and he started to cry. Like, he started to tear up. And he was like, I'm sorry, I don't normally cry, but I've just remembered something that happened a couple of years ago. And he built around himself in a house, so no one could shoot him, because, you know, priorities.
No.
And then he goes, basically, a couple of years ago, my son was really ill. His son's 13 now, and he was 8 at the time. Bear in mind, he's in tears when he's saying this, right? It's like, my son was really ill, and he was in hospital. And at the time, I was really good at League of Legends, so I knew people who streamed League, like, really well. Like, he was a sponsor for a lot of them. He was making a lot of money at the time, so he would donate to them all the time and that. And he'd play with them, and he'd carry them. He was that good at League of Legends. And he basically, his son used to watch a YouTuber. I can't remember what his name was. Let's just say fucking Bill. Not Nomad Lopez or fucking Cinnamon.
Alright, okay.
Right?
You remember the consent, though.
And he was like... basically, my son really looked up to Bill, and he used to watch all his videos. And one day, one of the streamers said, "Oh, if you want, we can try. We know people who know him, and we can try and get like a Skype call with him. If it's going to make your son's day, it's going to cheer him up." And he was like, "Do you know what? That would be fucking brilliant." This guy's a Spanish-speaking YouTuber, by the way, so we won't know who he is. I don't know who he is.
Yeah, okay.
And he's like, but you'll have to wake up at, like, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I know it's going to be strenuous on your son, because, like, he's fucking ill.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to, like, talk to him, because that's when his time is. And he was like, that's fucking fine. So the night come, it was all sorted. They were set up to talk to this guy on Skype. His son he dressed up everything. He wore, like, nice clothes. He had his hair done. He was everything. And Alex was sat there, and he was like, any minute now, like, you're going to get this call from this guy. So just be cool and it'll be all right. And he never rang him. He never called him. And he was like, and I fucking hate him. If is there anyone I don't like, I fucking hate this guy, because he fucking treated my son like shit. Like, my son woke up ill, 2 o'clock in the morning, sat there, cried his eyes out after it, because, like, he was waiting just by a laptop for this Skype call. And he's like, when he knew it wasn't coming, he just started to cry, and I didn't know what to do. Like, I was just panicked that I didn't know what to do with myself, and I fucking hate this guy because of it. And I was like, what a fucking horrible person. Yeah. Like, why? What? He even said, he was like, even if we asked him, and he said, no, I'm too busy, I would understand. I'd be like, mate, fine that you're a busy dude. But he agreed to do it and then didn't show up for it. It's like, what's the point? Like, fucking, I don't think some YouTubers realise the influence and, like, the star power they have to some people who watch them. And it's fucking horrible. Like, if you can give back even to one fan, fucking do it. Like, there's no harm. There's no way in hell you were far too busy for a 5-minute Skype call. No fucking way. Like, no way at all. And you'd pre-planned it.
Yeah, that's like, the thing. It's like, it's an arranged thing. It's not like that's your plans. That's not something you're like, I might turn up to this.
So I just thought, like, what a fucking horrible person, like, to do that. Like, that's horrible. And he was crying there. He turned his camera off for a bit, and then come back a bit later on. He was fine after, and his son's fine now. But he was like, yeah, so I fucking hate him, and it took me off guard because I was just there for a friendly game of Fortnite.
So that was like you caught that live on stream.
Oh, live on stream, yeah, I caught that.
Oh, that's crazy, man. I seen them kind of clips on YouTube and on the.
Yeah, and he was like, it was just live, like it just started out and not like from nowhere.
Speaking of live on stream, did you see that girl who fucking got her eyeballs cut open by a cat on a stream? It's like fucking bleeding. She's like, what do I do?
Have you seen?
Probably turn the stream off at this point.
Have you seen the guy who left his stream on and had a wank?
Yeah, no. Before he did his stream, he thought his camera was off, but he turned it on, like testing it or something, and he fucking just banged one out on stream. And then he looked at it, and everyone's like, "You've just wanked on stream." And it's like the most awkward moment of realisation. Just sat there,
all you can see is a slight shake in his head. It's like he's obviously wanking, like. There's no way around.
And then it's when he comes, man, he's like, oh, he fucking leans back. And it's like, oh, no. I don't get it right. I've never watched the full clip, but I've seen that.
I've seen clips. I've seen clips of it.
I've seen clips of it on, like, other shit. Like, I think, like, the Etc. News did it, and I watched it on there, or somewhere else did it. But, yeah, it was pretty fucking, it's pretty bad for him. Like, I don't know. If you did that, it's one of them things you just kind of have to own it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't, I didn't do it. You have to be like, yeah, I had a wank on stream. It was kind of embarrassing at the time, but, it happens to the best of us. Like, that's kind of like my thing. I think we definitely got to crack this 60 minutes, you know.
We are. I want to get, if we get to 60 minutes, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
So 4 minutes more.
We'll get to 60 minutes, and then, like, we'll wrap up whatever it is we're talking about. So, what can we talk about for 4 minutes?
My stepmom keeps ringing us. You know who my stepmom is. You know what?
Well, no, Jack, I don't know who your stepmom is. The one that's married to your real dad. He's also my dad.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
By extension, do I know who our stepmom is? Yeah, Jack,
what I'm trying to say is, you know, I don't call my stepmom. I call her by a name. Yeah. But I don't want to say her name.
I don't think anyone calls a stepmom, to be honest. But you, Jack, I know that's a new thing.
I don't know if I should say this because at some point she may very well watch this.
She probably already.
I very much doubt she will get to 56 minutes in with the amount of cunts and fucks and the dick story about getting chopped off or that shit. I don't think she'll stick about.
Oh God, you're right. I'm gonna listen to this stream back. I'm gonna have to fucking listen to all that again.
But she keeps ringing us because I told her at New Year for a New Year resolution. I didn't know how to say, I fucking don't like you cooking. So don't cook food. I just said, I just don't like some stuff. And she went, will you give us a list of food you like? Do you know how big the fucking list would be?
I hate when someone says shit like that.
She keeps ringing us, like, what do you want for tea? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, where you going? She's like, I'm just going to Asda. There's fucking shitloads in Asda. Like, I couldn't just say, like, do you know what I specifically want, man? 7 chicken strips, right?
Just drop your stepmom's name in it there, Jack.
Do you know what I want, stepmom? No, do you know what? I can't be like, do you know what I want? I want 7 fucking chicken. I'm not even going to edit that out because I can't be arsed.
Right.
She's called Margaret, right? I can't, like, say I want...
Well, I've got, like, my whole fucking drug dealing... how far did we get? We got 57 minutes before you dropped the mic. Fuck.
And it wasn't even in a good way.
No, it wasn't even cool. We've got, right, for those of you at home, we've fucking set up in a smallest room in the house. We've got the mic on top of a shit little table in the middle of said room, on top of a Boba Fett helmet to give it some more height. I shit you not.
We've got a picture.
And it's balanced there. Not very well. Do you want to put that picture on when I'm doing this?
I'll put it on now, yeah.
But yeah, right, sound.
Wait,
I'll send you it.
On my click, I'll put the... I'm talking like the mic's there. On my click, I'll put the photo one, right? There you go.
Hey. So I'll just send it to you now.
I've got it. I've got one of it.
No, but mine's better. Because it's got both of us on it.
Do you want your face on YouTube, like, do you?
Yeah, well, my voice is, and like everyone else who's ever going to watch this is already knows who I am anyway.
They already imagine what I look like. You look like a really B-tech...
Well, the thing is, I don't want anyone...
Here's what you look like. You look like a blonde B-tech version of the Aussie man on YouTube. You know, the Aussie man reviews. Like, he talks about, like...
It's not really a compliment, that really, to be
fair. It's not a compliment at all. It wasn't meant to be.
I mean, come on now. Don't get us wrong, you know, I'm sure he appeals to certain women, just not me.
I'll put your photo next to a picture of him,
Please don't.
How could you?
I don't like
In the photo you sent me as well, your beard looks a bit full. And in real life...
What do you mean it looks a bit... It looks like that in real life. Fucking stop.
It doesn't.
Looks great. The best beard you ever seen. No, it's not like the best beard you ever seen, but I mean, it's not the worst. It's not.
Hey, fucking hell. I look so weird in photos.
You look like that in person.
I hate like having photos of me taken. Like, I don't like it. I don't mind taking photos of myself, right? But I don't like having photos taken of me.
I know you don't mind taking photos of yourself because there's a fucking gallery of the cunts on Facebook. If you look at all your old profile pictures, it was you in a mirror in the same pose with a different t-shirt, same mirror. So it was the same picture 7 times, but every time you'd put a different like fucking filter on it because you were a proper little weirdo using filters and that.
Well, I am sorry.
You should be.
Right.
Those were years. That's fucking your life. You're not getting back.
That's 60 minutes gone.
60 minutes of their life. They're not getting back.
Really sorry. Right, so we'll end the podcast here.
I think I was pretty strong over. Quite happy with how that turned out, I think. Yeah.
I will go as quickly. My girlfriend's been sat in the other room for an hour. Probably pissed off at me for going away to record the podcast.
That's have fun with that one.
Right. So, if you liked the video, like it, please.
Please subscribe.
If you're not subscribed,
love me, YouTube.
Subscribe, please.
Love me.
And we'll be back in a week, hopefully. Well, we will be, because I'm not fucking taking no for an answer.
No, alright. You're odd. Fucking hell.